Hi, I'm Donna Miller with Miller Crafts. I'm going to show you how to make an owl Christmas card. If this is your first time to the channel and you like making cards or learning about Inkscape, please consider clicking and subscribing. Don't forget to hit that bell to get notified of future videos so you don't miss out on anything. Started with our background, we're using white and a light blue acrylic paint. And I'm using a flat brush. Everything is completely dry and I'm just going to mix all of this together. And I'm starting with small brush strokes on the background and I'm just going back and forth with the paintbrush. I'm not mixing the white and the blue very well because I want it to look a little choppy and I like the different color variations in the sky. So I'm going to next outline where I think I want my mountains to go with the side of my paintbrush. And then I'm going to just fill in the rest of the sky background. Once your sky background is completely filled in, take the white and put it in another spot and mix that with the blue that you have at the top. This is going to create a much lighter blue, but it will still be in the same shade of blue, which is what we're going to want for our mountain peaks. Once you have that all blended, then you want to go through and just draw a line from the top going down to your paper. You can pre-draw this with a pencil, but if you do, just be aware that your pencil line will show through the acrylic paint because it's such a light blue color. Once you have those drawn on there, you want to use water to get a really good blend. And I'm just mixing this in with the light blue and the white, and I'm predominantly using more of the white to get this to blend through. I want this mountain peak in the back to be the darkest color out of all of the mountain peaks. And I'm putting white paint to soften the line of that blue that we had drawn there so it's not quite so harsh. Continue to use water to get this to blend very well. The water I find really softens it and makes it look like a really smooth mountain. As I move on to the next mountain, I'm using more water and I'm picking more from the whiter side instead of that blue side because I really want to soften this mountain, and the top mountain in the foreground will be the lightest out of all of them. And I'm just going back and forth and just blending and smoothing this out. And I am, as I go to the top, leaving the peaks completely white that has no acrylic paint on it at all. To finish off the last mountain, I'm adding even more white, and this is mostly going to be white as opposed to blue. And I'm just gently mixing this together, and I'm really focusing more on getting this to be the lightest blue that I can get. And this is just a matter of blending with water and blending mostly with the white acrylic paint with just the slightest hint of blue. As you finish this off, just use any white that you might feel like you need to use in order to blend this in so that all of your lines look soft. You can add in any kind of water to also help soften up any of your harsh lines. Now we're going to move on to our sentiment for our stamps. I'm using Distress Oxide Broken China, and I'm going to line that up with the bottom corner of my card. I'm using a stamp that came from Jilly Bean Soup. This is Hampton Arts, and it has a lot of really nice Christmas sentiments and stamp images on that stamp set. You really want to make sure that you're using a stamping platform and not an acrylic block because, as you can see, it took me many times to stamp this to get a good impression. Now the inside of our card is coming from Hero Arts. It has a lot of really nice sentiments on here, and if you're interested in this, I will have a link to it on my blog of where you can buy it. I'm also using Distress Oxide Broken China for the inside of my card too. Now to line up my stamps, I have another video that shows you how I made a grid, and I use this grid to line up all of my stamps, so I will link to that video in the description below. And I find that if I use that little clear grid, that it helps me position my stamps perfectly every time. Now I'm going to glue down my mats for this card. I'm using Art Glitter Glue, and I have it in my favorite quilling bottle. That makes it easy for me to get the glue out and it doesn't stick to the lid. As I'm gluing down my mats, you'll notice that I had already used this as a scrap, and it's a great way to use up your scraps because no one is ever going to know that there was an image cut down below there. Now our image from this card is coming from Miss Katecuttables, and I really just love this owl. I have him popped up on foam tape, and I think this card turned out wonderful. It says warm wishes on the front. May your Christmas be cozy, warm, and bright. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoy this video. If you're new to the channel, please consider clicking and subscribing so that you can get notified of future videos and you don't miss out on anything.